The funny thing about health is that you can never know when you're actually successful. Because in health, or health is avoiding a problem. But how can you know that you avoided the problem if it never materialized? And then what will happen is, when a health problem does arrive, people will say, look, you're feeding a natural and a healthy diet, and your dog or your cat still got sick. Maybe so, but the question is, how many problems did you actually avoid by feeding a wholesome diet? People always focus on the actual illnesses or health problems that happen, but they never look at or realize how many problems have actually been avoided. So you will never know for sure how many problems were avoided, but in your heart you will always know. That's why when it comes to feeding a natural raw meat diet, it's very important to actually love what you're doing. Because when you love what you are doing, in your heart, you will always know that you've done your best. Now, I've had dogs and cats in my life since the day that I was born. Some have lived a healthy life, some have got sick. And people say, well, look, some of the dogs and cats that you fed were healthy and they were eating commercial pet food. But I always then say, well, how much healthier could they have been if I had fed them a natural raw meat diet, a wholesome diet? And then, of course, I have dogs and cats that have been sick while eating commercial pet food. And then I have dogs and cats that have been healthy while eating a raw meat diet. And I've had dogs and cats that are sick while eating a natural raw meat diet also. So this is why I always tell people there's three things that impact the health of our dogs and cats. One is genetics. We have no control over the genetics of our dogs and cats, but we can help to minimize the impact of genetics by feeding a wholesome diet. The next thing that impacts health is diet. Diet is the foundation of health. So when you feed a good diet, you create good health. When you feed a bad diet, you can only create bad health. A good diet does not guarantee good health. It gives the dog or cat the opportunity for good health. And that's our responsibility. It's giving our dogs and cats the opportunity. Now, the third thing that affects the health of our dogs and cats is love. So genetics, diet, and love, those are the three things. And right here on my lap, I have my youngest cat, Kriya, just sleeping. And if someone tells me that this is not good for her health, I'll never believe them. Because she's a happy little cat. So, when it comes to feeding our pets wholesome food, it's not so much that we want to make them live forever. We just want them to be able to live and then die on their own terms. Wholesome food is a very simple concept. It's not complicated. But many people will make it complicated, but it's not. You don't have to think about vitamins and minerals. You just feed that natural diet. And then, of course, you can add different supplements to the diet, but you don't have to get paranoid because the diet is wholesome. You can add to it, but the foundation is wholesome. When I began promoting natural diets back in 1994, I was doing seminars. I wrote articles for magazines and newspapers. And then eventually I started to create a book, and based upon a publisher's request, I took my little pamphlet, my document, and upgraded it from about 15 to 20 pages up to about 100 to 120 pages. And I eventually named my book, Pets Need Wholesome Food Also. Think about it. People may argue the different diets, the different approaches, but nobody can argue the fact that pets need wholesome food also.